Uber and Lyft drivers, let's talk about one or two things that you can do to increase rider perspective by giving better ratings and also even leading to more tips. Hey everyone, my name is Chris and welcome to the Rideshare Guy. Increasing rider satisfaction does lead to better ratings and even the possibility of earning more in tips. And there's something that you could do that is really actually kind of easy and it doesn't cost a lot and it can really give a good rider perspective and also perceived value whenever a rider gets in your car. And no, it's not handing out water, gum, candy, other amenities in the car. It's a simple install of just putting lights in your car. All right, so let's back it up a couple of years ago. And this is about 2018, 2019 timeframe. And I was out driving Uber and Lyft, and passengers would get in the car. And some passengers would usually say, oh, do you remember that one driver? They had gum and they had candy and water and they had this and that. And it was one of those things where I'm like, I don't want to give out candy and water and all that stuff because, well, I don't want them spilling it in my car. I don't want the car to get dirty. I don't want those types of things. That's not for me. But I continued to hear it. So I'm like, what can I do to make the experience better for riders getting in my car? And then their perceived value of the ride increases and hopefully leads to better ratings and also better tips by not really doing anything. And that's when I thought, you know what, let's go on Amazon and check out what kind of lights they have. And I did this for a couple of different reasons. First, I like the look of them. It's nice. It's just something added. And so it was enjoyable for me. And I'm like, you know what, the perceived value there just adds a little bit because you added a little custom thing and you can hide all the wires and do all this stuff and really make it something that's going to be some sort of perceived value to riders. And again, it doesn't cost much because they're all getting in and it's just something that you purchased. So for me, it was $20 and I got 4 lights all tied together. And then I decided to put it on a system where it just rotates the lights through. So it went from red to green to blue to purple, yellow, and just cycled through the colors on a nice slow roll. People like that. But then I also decided to take it one step further. I found something called door projectors, which are just lights that you put on your door and then they shine onto the floor or the ground and they will show a logo of something. So I decided to get the Jeep logo because that's what I have, a Jeep Grand Cherokee. So when people would open up the door, it would show the Jeep logo outside on the ground. Then they'd get in, they'd see the lights, they're rotating, and it just gave a really good perspective. After I put those in my car, I did see a few more tips, and I also did see a lot more ratings that were much better versus before. So my rating before was like 4.91. Then it went up to 4.95 on Uber. And I didn't do anything different. All I did was just put the lights in and the perceived value followed up with it. And then kind of a cool thing that happened was instead of hearing about other drivers saying giving out amenities or something, I ended up becoming that driver that other drivers would have to hear about because I just put lights in the car. And instead of having to spend money on water or gum or something that's always needed to purchase again and again and again as you give it out, no, this is just a one-time purchase that continues to stay on until they burn out. So that's my story on providing additional perceived value without really changing anything. And it really cost me all under $50 because the lights that I put in the car were only $20 and the projector lamps were also only $20. So it was really easy to do. And then the install was really simple. And today's things that they have is even further beyond that. So they have millions of colors that you can choose from, and you can set up the lights any way you want. So you could do something like the Northern Lights and give this really cool perspective when people are in the ride. So I suggest trying to do something like that in the event that you want to just give a better perceived value to any rider that gets in your car. Again, it's not giving them amenities. It's not rebuying consumable products. It's buying something once and having that perceived value last. And having the lights in the car not only looks good, but when a rider drops something, and we all know riders drop stuff all of the time, it's really easy for them to see where it is, where it went, and they're able to pick it up, and then it's not lost. Also, when riders are getting out of the car, it's really easy to just look back, look down, and see if there was anything left behind that you could tell the rider, hey, don't forget this, you left it behind. So it has even more value beyond just perceived value. Now, there are a lot of different things that drivers can do when it comes to the types of rides that they have and how they can stand out from the rest. But something so simple and easy and cheap, like installing lights in the car, can have a huge impact overall because it's just one step more than the rest. And it's just one way to stand out from the rest. So I do suggest installing some lights. Now, if you want to check these out, we'll have a link in the description below so you can take a look at it. And if you have any questions or anything, feel free to put in the comments. It's real simple for an install though. It's literally just taking off the backing, sticking them up underneath, and then hiding the wires. It's really that simple. And I also want to know, drivers out there, what might you be doing to try to stand out from the crowd? What do you offer? What do you have? Comment below, let me know. And if you really want to, share it with us on either our Facebook page or on Twitter and let us see your ride. And if we get enough interest and you want to see some other rides that people have, maybe we'll do a critique video or something on your ride in the future. So make sure you're subscribed and again, share your ride and your comments, thoughts below. All right, everyone, drive safe.